So, from my understanding, our language and the words we use have everything to do with our reality and like the matter that we see that constructs our reality. When we give things labels, they go from wave to particle, and when we give things labels, I believe on an energetical level, it implies or presupposes that there is some kind of space or some kind of synaptic gap or some kind of separation between, say the tree and the earth, or the tree and me. And in what we are learning with quantum physics and new levels of consciousness that have lifted limiting decisions and beliefs around what life, how we perceived life to be around us prior to quantum physics. The theory that I propose is that the language truly does construct, or the labels, the language we use, the words, literally the words that we speak, external, internal, and we know our conscious dialogue to our unconscious mind is what really creates the world around us. I theorize that the words we use also create the world around us. So as our language, through our expansive mind, starts to expand, and the words, with the intention of the words, are more expansive, so too will that preconceived idea and notion that there is space between us all, when we know that we are indeed connected through energy, because we are all just energy. There is nothing stagnant, or like everything within us on a molecular, cellular, proton, electron, neurological level, right down to the little swingy bit in the thing. We are of movement, we are a frequency, and that frequency is, there is no gap or space or anything that separates me from this phone, and that vibration of frequency through our conscious thoughts that then connect to our body and all transcend, from internal to external, through our aura, through to the world around us, that as our language starts to hold less structure and more expansiveness, that so too will the world around us on a matter, on a physical, tangible, logistical level, truly change. And I don't know exactly what that looks like in the physical world or the matter world, but change is here. And I propose also that we really, with what we know of our amazingness to create these lives on a collective conscious level, that we do it and choose consciously to create these new expansive times with love and light. And the language we're using is feeding our unconscious mind with frames and nourishment of love, unconditional love, and really nourishing this new earth, which is so evidently being born now, in this timeline, in this life. And it's exciting, and lots of, definite conscious unknown, but growing to conscious awareness, and really loving the process of opening areas of my mind that haven't been, and really learning and loving that journey as we expand together. So I guess a little thing that I have taken away, or will take away from this share, is to really become conscious and mindful of the language, like the words that we are using external to the people around us. Are they building others up? Are they empowering people? Are they challenging people to really let go of those old models of their lives? Those ones, everything that doesn't serve them and us as a collective consciousness, of that old thought pattern that we are maybe somehow disconnected and an individual, when really we are so connected and so the word we're everything and nothing all at once. I don't know how to explain that in words. Magnificent, yeah. But I'm just really starting to become conscious of the language I use. Am I swearing? I mean, something as simple as that. I mean, swear words definitely have, whether we like it or not, a negative connotation on a collective consciousness, and are used in sometimes some really low vibrational ways. So for me, consciously beginning that process to speak words, of every word coming out of my mouth and going internal into my unconscious mind and creating my life, that they are pure and of light and love, and that I'm speaking external, internal, with purpose and with love and with drive and motivation to pure enlightenment for the world around me and for myself, which is same, mikasa sukasa, baby, can't not. So I encourage you all to not necessarily on a swearing level, I mean, but that's just one of the things that I'm implementing, but right down to what I'm projecting out to the people around me, encouraging myself to speak words of kindness and of thought, and really allow my communication to detach from my ego and from my learnt past emotions, and really tap into listening more. Like really listen more to life around me, and I guess start to tap into communication on a spiritual level. Allow just the beingness of being when I'm near somebody, and usually in a setting where I feel the need to talk and communicate verbally, just communicate through that love of being in somebody's space, and just allow our energies to mesh and heal and harmonize in that connected state, rather than be talking like all the time. And it's an interesting process, and I look forward to sharing time with people where we just sit, possibly for hours or even a day, and let our energy just speak, or let our heart just speak to one another, or purely our bodies, or it's just a little form of my implementing those beautiful meditative states into a conscious, real, like full conscious state as well, kind of integrated into some ways. But yeah, so let's tap into and learn together what it is to communicate. There's so many levels and dimensions and planes that we can communicate in, where it doesn't involve using our mouths and our temporal lobe of consciousness. We can just at a soul level just be and communicate. And I also believe in that same breath that when we are, like when you become conscious of sounds and all of a sudden all of your like awareness is on the sounds around you, and you really tap into your auditory senses and bring that to life. And the more you tend to do that, the more consciously that starts to build neural pathways and neurotransmitters to be living in those more aware states of auditory behavior and things around you, and that starts to grow. Like you start to train your auditory senses to be really prevalent in your life, because you understand that importance of heightening all of our senses to the now, that where our now starts to really consume our consciousness as well, and we no longer are handing over our energy to thoughts of the past or the future, but we are indeed just really expanding into now by practicing, to listen, to so much more around us. And in that same notion of practice, we can practice communicating on energetic, on telepathic, on, wherever we start to feed our consciousness and start to program and train our minds to tap into the now on like a depth that we may not have before. Through that process, we're actually like really we are allowing ourselves to create our new future, where the more we practice just listening and connecting energetically, wherever we choose consciously to go now, if we wanted to consciously, we'll get to a point where communication is just more so love and energetical connection, rather than communicating, talking temporal lobe, like human. We're 2% human, so they say, and like human as in matter, being like physical body. Sorry, our body, we are 2% body and 98% energy and spirit and soul and all these things. And we've just been conditioned and programmed to really amplify and develop that conscious mind for extremes. And now through that transition of growth consciously, we now are able and have the opportunity to use that to truly create like that beautiful, harmonic, balanced, sustainable future for everybody, for this earth, for this universe, and all parties involved. So yeah, language is everything. Is everything, and it's beautiful and can be celebrated today, that ability to communicate in all ways. Cheers, love and light.